Hi, I'm Harrison Wyatt, and today I'm joined by Ella.
Hi.
And I'm going to be talking her through the process of safely extinguishing a temporary fire. Whilst making this video, I also took it as a great opportunity to share some extra skills with Ella, such as where and how to find dry firewood following a period of wet weather. There you go, it's got it.
Oh, I got it.
Nice. So now we want to put these sticks.
Put some sticks on there.
We've had our fire. Things we need to be thinking about are the size and time. So we never want to be building a massive bonfire because that's a waste of fuel and the bits of wood that we've got and our resources. So we only want to be making a fire that's large enough for what we actually need to use it for, whether that's developing a skill of lighting fires or actually cooking.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to let this burn down now. So we're going to give it a little bit of time. We don't need to be adding on any more fuel. And the rain is actually going to help us as well, but we're going to let it break down. Then I would like you to go and find a stick roughly about the length of your forearm, because you're going to use that to disturb the fire. So we'll sort of spread it out within our fire square, and that's just going to separate all the heat out. Once we've done that, we've got our water here, so I'm going to tell you how we're going to sort of apply the water slowly and safely to extinguish the fire, and then after that we'll just keep checking on it and making sure it's gone out.
Okay, so I need to find a big stick.
Yeah, a stick that you can poke with.
This big.
Yeah, roughly about the size of your forearm, just so you're not having to get your hand anywhere near the fire.
This stick, that's got a good handle there.
Yeah, it's a good one. Nice one. So, as I say, we'll let that burn down a little bit. Yeah, you can use your gloved hand as well. So, and again, you'll be in the kneeling position when we're doing it. So we'll just let that burn for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then what we'll start to do is we can start to sort of.
So then I just move my stick around so that it creates a gap in the middle of the fire.
Yes, yeah. So the centre of the fire is where the most heat is, but effectively by sort of removing where that sort of compressed fuel is, where it's all sort of compacted and burning and heating and burning itself, you can spread it out safely within our square, because we've removed all the debris from there, so there's less risk of it catching the fallen leaves. And yeah, we want to keep it inside the square.
The rain is quite helpful.
The rain is helpful, yeah. But again, what we want, so you can see where the hot white ash is.
Yeah.
That's effectively where the most heat is, right in the middle of the fire. So if you want to have a go now, you can just gently, you're going to do this really carefully, and again in the kneeling position, so if it does spit, you can just step back.
Just like this?
Yeah, so you're just spreading it out like so. And what you'll find is as you do this, the flames will actually disappear.
Okay. They're just on the big pieces now.
Yeah.
Is that good?
That is good, yeah. So
a lot of smoke.
There will be a lot of smoke, so again you can step away. So even though the flame isn't visible, it's still retaining loads and loads of heat, and there is chance that if you wanted to rekindle the fire, you could very easily sort of build it back up, compress all that heat back into each other, and give it some of that fine sort of kindling or tinder that we started the fire with. So now that it's sort of steaming and that's basically because we've spread it out.
Yeah.
What we're now going to do is we're going to add water, but we're going to start from the outside in a little bit. And if you were to do this,
stick, should I leave it here?
Yeah, you can set it off to one side. If you were to do this with a larger group, you could potentially consider the fact that they are all around the fire, and like I say, we're going to spiral in that water, so you could potentially hand out smaller cups of water, and they could each take it in turns with kneeling and putting a bit of water, almost like a ceremony of extinguishing the campfire that they've worked together to build. So we're going to spiral it in. Again, thinking about not too much all at once, otherwise all of those carefully spread ash could get sort of spat out over the safety of our fire square, and also it's going to create a lot of steam, and we don't want anyone taking that in the eyes or the face. So if I start here.
Okay. Should I go to this side?
We've got this big jerry can to make sure we've got more than enough water, so you want to make sure you've always got plenty of water, and we don't want to be leaning over too much, so I'm just carefully staying nice and low start there. Get rid of that mat now. So do you want to go around that side?
Yeah. You think that's enough?
Yeah, and then I'll take it round this side. So again, just by dampening the area around it as well, we're already starting to cool the fire. We'll keep working our way in, and then what we'll do once we've poured the water on, we'll disturb the fire again. Unfortunately, the rain had actually stopped the recording of the video whilst we were spiralling in with the water, but we noticed relatively quickly and started to record again. Cool, so these larger bits can go into one of the side fire pits. So we want to make sure that they are holding no heat at all.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're holding no heat.
And then what about these small bits?
So then the smaller bits, they can be scattered. So you can sort of, again, making sure that there's no heat in them. Basically, it's actually just giving the nutrients back to the earth around it and everything. So you can use the glove if you'd like.
No, I'll use my bare hand.
I'm proud of you.
You best be if I have my nails done.
Yeah, so giving the nutrients back to the woodland that we've got all these bits of fuel from. Sort of scattering it back. Nice. And then what we'll do is we can set these off to the side. And then to kind of remove as much trace as possible, I can bring back over, making sure that there's as little evidence as possible, trying to make sure we leave no trace. So we've just finished packing up and we're about to leave, but I was just going to ask Ella, like, how do you feel about actually extinguishing the fire now? Like,
Yeah, I think it went good. I think I feel more confident now with how to safely extinguish a fire. I think I was a little bit wary before, but I feel better now.
Nice. Good work.